This conference
So in
will
this
now be
session,
recorded.
so SAP stands for Systems, Applications, Products and Data Processing. We normally do not call it as a, so it is a ERP technology. Call it as a ERP product, or we can call it as ERP package software. Different terms we can use. That's why it's a ERP technology. Okay, we understood the definition of ERP and how. See, the every ERP technology used of any technology is what? To make the best use of. Are you able to hear me, guys? Okay. Rajshekar, you have a problem at your end, it seems.
Sir, it's finished, sir. It's recovered.
Okay. To make the best use of the resources, the main objective of any ERP technology is what? To make the best use of the resource in the organizations, to make the optimum utilization of all the resources in the organization. Okay. So what are the key resources of any business? 5 M's. What are the key resources of any business? 5 M's. Anyone? If anybody from MBA background, they can answer it. What are the key resources? Yes or no? Okay. See, these are the key resources of any business. What happens if you don't use these resources properly? If there is a wastage, it's a loss to the company, right? It's a loss to the company. Yes or no? See, the company is hiring one resource, one software engineer by paying a 20 lakhs salary, and the company is unable to make the use of this resource, not even 20% of his actual hours in the year. Isn't it a loss to the company? So he is 20% utilized, it's a loss to the company. So the ERPs, how does the ERP help to make the best use of these resources? It gives us right information to the management saying the utilization percentage of each manpower, each person in the company, okay, and utilization of every money, machines, materials, methods. It properly gives the information, okay, at every area. When it gives the right information to the management, the management can make the plans for making the best use of these resources. So if, for example, in the same case, in case of men, there are 10 members in the team. So this software application gives the information to the manager, okay, saying for each person's utilization percentage, say weekly 40 hours is there, okay, all employees attended 40 hours, but that doesn't give profit to the company. That doesn't mean utilization, right? Just attendance doesn't mean utilization. In that 40 hours, what are the billable hours? And how many hours he spent on the project is what actually the business to the company, right? Clear? So some people out of the 10, some of them are 100% utilized, no worries. Okay, some of them are 120% utilized, so definitely they get a good rating at a appraisal. Some of them are 60% utilized. That means there is a 40% bandwidth. Clear? So the manager thinks about using that 40% for some other activities, for some other projects or some other billable activities. So when it is giving a right information, weekly basis, monthly basis, they can reduce the wastage of this resource. Okay. Similarly, money. Where are we spending much amount on the materials, on advertisement, or on admin expenses? If they have a right information, if the system ERP system can provide the right information to the management, then they can plan the control, cost control. Yeah. So when you make the best use of all these resources, what will happen? When the company makes the best use of all these resources, what happens? The average cost of the product, every product that company is producing, or every product or every service that the company is producing, the average cost of that product, manufacturing cost of the product is reduced. When the cost of the product is reduced, the profit margin is increased. Yes or no? Agreed? Yes or no, guys? When average cost of the product is reduced, the profit margin is increased to the company. So that's how the ERPs help the organizations to make the best use of these resources in the company, okay, with the different tools and applications. The main focus of the ERP is that, okay, to effectively manage the data storage means data upload, data retrieval, data processing, and data integration, all four aspects, okay, of any resource: human resource, financial resources, machines, materials, and the management. Okay, it provides the tools and applications to manage all these resources effectively. So that's the main focus of any ERP. Okay, so the SAP is one platform, guys, which has the tools and applications for any department. You name any module, like you name finance, you name HR, you name material, production, plant maintenance, warehousing, okay, and not only the modules, in any industry it has a solutions, okay, it has a solutions in it. Let's say primary sector companies like the mining, natural resources, gas, okay, mining, gas and oil. These resources are the primary sector companies. These companies are primary sector companies. The second sector is FMCG companies, okay, fast moving consumer goods. And the third one, retail sector. Third level sector, you can consider that as a retail sector. For all the sectors, for all the industries, SAP has a solution in it, and that is a kind of uniqueness of SAP. It has a standard solutions for any department, for any industry, okay, for any level of sector. That's why SAP become a globally spreaded ERP. See, the other ERP technologies may be good for a particular area of business. For example, Oracle is good for finance, PeopleSoft is good for HR, but not for the finance. Okay, Tally is the ERP that is good for finance. Civil is also ERP that is good for customer services. Yeah, but not for other areas. So if you want to use all other areas also on a common platform, SAP is the best choice for the companies. And you want an integrated platform, SAP is the right choice. That's why it became a global leader of ERP industry. Okay, at one stage, guys, more than 50% of ERP, companies using the ERP, so SAP, more than 50% at one stage. But later there are many competitors have come into the industry. Okay, now the percentage is reduced. Clear? So that's what SAP is. Like any other version, again, any other software, SAP also has the versions in it. Okay, like simple Android. The Android itself is once in a monthly there is a new version released, right? Okay, what is the meaning of new version? What does it bring?
Some new features.
It brings the new features in it, right? So similarly, SAP also brings new features with the different names depending on the size of the feature or scope of the features. Okay, SAP, the current version of SAP is, if any of you wants to install SAP in your server, in your laptop or in your desktop, this will help you, this information. The SAP, we call it as a ECC. Okay, ECC system means Enterprise Central Component. Enterprise Central Component. And the version right now which is being used, ECC 6.0. Okay, ECC 6.0, guys. That is the latest version that is being used. Guys. Sorry. Okay. This is a 6.0. Now coming to, okay, when was it released? It was released in 2007. What is this? It is there in the document, guys. The document that I, okay, so I'll share it. See, there are versions released by SAP so far. So the ECC 6.0 version is released in 2005. The last version released in the year 2004. Does this mean we don't have any updates since 2005? No, it's not like that. The SAP releases, the SAP new releases are like this, with the name of version, enhancement packages, and even smaller component, and then add-on or plugins. So these are all the name of the releases: version release, enhancement package release, component release, add-on or plugin release. So version release, generally in SAP, the version release brings big change like architecture level changes, UI level changes, or database level changes. The version releases brings a big change, guys. Okay, it affects all the modules in almost in a ECC system. Okay, there will be changes in all the modules. So enhancement package, it brings the changes in small changes in each module, like in HR 3 changes, in finance 4 changes, in sales 3 more additional applications, in material management 2 3 additional applications. So when the certain list of applications are to be introduced in each module, then SAP release that as an enhancement package. SAP release that as an enhancement package. They don't release a version for it. Version is like a big change comparatively. Okay, so enhancement is smaller to the version. It's like adding a 4 or 5 applications to each module is an enhancement package. The latest enhancement package which is being used by the companies is EHP 8. We call it as a EHP 8. So when you install SAP, you can install, you ask them to install ECC 6.0 EHP level, anything between 6 to 8. Okay, 6 to 8, EHP 6 to 8 you can go for. Even 3 also fine, not an issue. EHP level 3 also fine. But some of the applications are missing in it. Okay, but if you want to go for EHP above 6, you minimum need to have a 8 GB RAM. Okay, now 500 GB hard disk. Minimum you need to have 8 GB RAM, 500 GB hard disk. Okay, 8 GB also will not be enough for the 8. So go for 16 GB RAM if it is a desktop. Okay, laptop, see if you can extend the RAM capacity. Okay, so 16 GB RAM will do much better. So, but to install SAP, it at least require 320 or 300 GB space. So you will have only 180 GB space for your other applications and other data. So if you are buying a new one for SAP, go for 1 terabyte. 1 TB hard disk. The other option is, if you are installing SAP directly in your system, you have to format the system, data will be lost. And even operating system also they format. So if you don't want to lose your data, you can go for an external hard disk. You can buy a external hard disk, which is, let's say, a 500 GB external hard disk will do. Okay, and you give an external hard disk to that guy, admin. I'll give you the number. Okay, so he will install the external hard disk. So you can connect that to any system and then use it. This is another way. If you don't want to install directly, you are okay with online access. Okay, they charge 330 per month. They give you access, online access, and it just require only internet access. If you have internet, you can access SAP server directly and practice it without having a direct installation in your server. Okay, but every month you have to pay this as long as you use it. Or else, if you are okay to come to the lab, if you are staying nearby, our institute is in Amirpet. If you are okay to come to the lab and practice, you can go and sit in the lab and practice. There are servers there, you can practice it. Okay, so these are the three options for you for practicing SAP. One is, I suggest you to go for direct installation. Okay, they charge 400 to 500 rupees to install SAP in your system directly, so that you can do all experiments. Nothing will happen. Okay, but online access, the problem with online access are whatever the changes that you make, somebody will edit it, or somebody might delete them. Knowingly or unknowingly, somebody might delete them. So you cannot practice that consistently. It makes some time. I mean, it needs some time. Yeah. Suppose if you lose your data, you have to create the data again, right? So if you install SAP directly in your system, that is much better than anything else. Okay. External hard disk also better. So is this clear?
So, do we have any specific name for that online access?
No, you just ask from SAP for SAP access, online access. I want ECC 6.0 EHP 7. That's it. If EHP 8 is there, take it.
Okay.
Okay. If generally 6, 7, 8 are the ones they are giving you normally in online, you can use anything for our requirements, for our scenarios. Okay.
Okay.
So even if you don't ask them, they give you minimum EHP 6. Clear? So component is the next one. When you talk about enhancement, it brings the changes in multiple modules, 3, 4 additional applications on an average. Component is like a one scenario. Okay, for example, uh, the GST has been introduced recently by the government, right? Okay, earlier that GST was not there in SAP, but they want to they want to implement GST for their existing customers. So what they do is the GST related applications are built by SAP, release that component to all its SAP customers. Okay, so they can add that component to the existing version and use the GST applications. Clear? So one particular component module or a submodule, if they want to give it to their existing customers, they can release that as a component guys. Okay, component is the one business scenario, a business scenario. Okay, so when you compare with component, add-on or a plugin is very smaller release, like application, small application or a report or a screen or a table. Okay, they are releasing, SAP is releasing. So the add-on or a plugin, they release. Okay, so this is how SAP new releases are. Clear? So when the new version ECC 7.0 is released, all the enhancement packages released so far are a part of 7.0. So for 7.0 again it will start EHP1, EHP2, EHP3, EHP4 like that. So these are the releases. Are we clear all this? Version is like a big change. Okay, architecture level changes. Enhancement package is like adding a few applications in each module. Component is like introducing a scenario. Okay, a scenario is being developed by SAP and then they're releasing it to the customers. So whoever needs it, they can download that component and add it to the existing version. Add-on or plugin is like a small application. Yeah. So these are the, we don't need to know component or plugin or enhancement packages, all this, just for information purpose. Where do we find these informations? Where do we find this information? So there is a portal, customer support portal, guys. SAP has a customer support portal, service.sap.com. Service.sap.com. So in this portal, we can log in into this portal with the user ID and password given to the customers and see all release information. We can have a knowledge on these informations, this release management, guys. So what is new version is bringing in? What is EHP new EHP is bringing in? What is this component all about? So whether it is needed for our customer or not. So we can find all this information in service.sap.com portal. Okay. So along with the new releases, every software will also have one more thing. What is that? It's not always new releases. There is something else.
Update.
Release also update, right?
Sorry, sir.
New releases also to an update. Bug fixes or changes. Suppose SAP has released a small add-on or a plugin, or which may be a screen or a report. Okay, there is some report released by SAP. Let's say that program is not working as explained by SAP. It is not working as it is explained by SAP. Somewhere it is giving incorrect values. So our developer goes to this program and see, yes, it is a bug in the program. Then what do? We take it up to the SAP. So this is the program that you released, and you said this program work for this scenario, and it's being failed in this case. Okay, we raise it to SAP. Then SAP will also look at that case in your system, and if SAP identifies that as a bug, then SAP fix it. Okay, at a standard solution level, they fix it, and they release what? They release a note. They release a SAP note. So whoever needs that application, okay, then they can download this SAP note again from service.sap.com, the software component of this SAP note, and then install it in the existing system so that the bug will be fixed. Yeah, a set of such notes are called support packs. So the base system normally call it as a SP level, support pack levels. Okay, a set of such nodes are called support pack levels. Support packs are support pack levels. The support packs are tracked with the SP levels. So if support pack is installed, then you don't need to install individual nodes. All the nodes of that support pack automatically updated. Now I want only one particular area to be corrected for now. Then go for note update. So any bug fixes are resolved by SAP nodes, okay, or SAP support packs. Changes means, for example, our union government or central government making the changes to the tax slabs. Making the changes to the tax slabs. Okay, effective from the financial year 2021, these changes are applicable. So tax slab is what? It's a legal change, and which must be followed by every customer. Clear? Every customer in India, every company in India. So if SAP asks, okay, this is a change, you do it by yourself in your system, then the clients will definitely mess it. That's why the legal changes are taken care by SAP. The legal changes are taken care by SAP. Okay, and release that note to all their customers. Okay, so and in that note they clearly mention it. If you want the recent statutory or legal level changes implemented, update this note, automatically the changes will be effective. Now all the customers have access to the service.sap.com portal, right? Okay, they can log in into that portal and download that note related component and apply that to the system, existing software, patch or a note. Okay, patch or a note. Clear? So you understood SAP release management, all of you? Be it a support pack or a note or any version or a enhancement package, component or a plugin, every information you find it in service.sap.com. And the software component, software patch, you find it in the same service.sap.com portal. Knowledge or information on these releases, also documentation.
Sir, can you please tell me the changes program? Changes.
Come again.
Box fixes or changes. So can you please repeat the changes?
See that statutory legal changes, tax slab change is
Yeah.
what? Is a change, right? It is not a bug. Yes or no? It is a change in the tax slabs. So what SAP does is SAP takes the responsibility of making these changes in the standard SAP solution. Okay, standard SAP solution, so that if any new customer is going for SAP, they have these changes in it, new software. For the existing customers, they release that as a note. Okay, so the existing customers go to the service.sap.com portal and download that note and implement that note in the standard system. So automatically the new changes are effective for their business. Does it answer your question? Does that answer your question or not? Say yes or no, guys. Who was the one asked this? When you ask the question, you confirm me whether you understood this or not. Otherwise, how would I know whether to repeat it or not? All right. Anybody has any question on this? Release management?
Sir, I had one question.
Yeah.
If SAP note is released for one organization, whether it will appear in all.
It is not released. It is never released for one organization. Okay, that release is there in the support portal, which is service.sap.com, and it is accessed by every SAP customer across the globe. Now it is a customer choice to update that note in their system or not. If customer wants to update that note into their system, Then they access SAP service.com portal, download that note and update in their system.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else? So what SAP does is, when SAP, suppose there is a company called MRF Tires. It is a manufacturing company. This company wants to go for SAP software. Okay, this company wants to use SAP software for their day-to-day business transactions. So they buy the license of SAP. They get a CD and with the software license. The customer MRF Tire is also given access to their service.sap.com. User ID and password to access service.sap.com. Like, see, when you become a customer of a bank, okay, the bank is giving you the customer ID and password, right? Similarly, MRF Tires becomes a customer of SAP. To MRF Tires, it gives a ID and password to access the service.sap.com. So one reason to have knowledge on the release management. The second reason is to download the software components like support packs and the notes and the releases. Is that clear? Okay. So this is the user ID and password we can use to log in into service.sap.com and then look at what is a new release about, what is a new component about, what is this note, so and so note about everything. So I think I have some notes in the system. See, this is like a one of the note of SAP. Okay. So what you have to do for something, I'm just looking for some scenario in SAP. So SAP has created this note, and it is directing us what to do. Okay, what to do? Go to the so and so area and give so and so value. Okay, it is directing me what to do. This note. Clear? So there are notes which can be implemented by basis SAP admins. There are notes which can be implemented by developers. There are notes which can be implemented by the functional consultant himself. So this is a note which has to be implemented by the developer. So when the SAP gives a note, it clearly mentions it whose responsibility this is. Let me search if there is another note in the system. This is just information on the note I'm showing you, not the software patch. Okay, I don't have anything. Okay, this is the note that I downloaded from service.sap.com. Let me show you that portal as well. I think I have a user ID. I already logged in, it seems. Now my support. Okay, we have a knowledge database on SAP notes. Okay, and software component. and you can approach the support, SAP support. Suppose if you go to the SAP notes, release information. Okay, you can have a release information. And if you want to go for note assistance, payroll India, search. I'm not searching for any specific note. The recent changes by SAP related to the payroll India. See, these are all the notes. Okay, a note can be a bug fix or a note can be a change. Okay, see, some customer has raised an issue, so invalid characters in so and so table. If you go to this note, so you can download this note into PDF onto your system, and they mention, so what is the problem and what is the reason and what is the solution. If it requires a component, then it mentions it here, software component name. It is available in so and so component. It is available in so and so component, and you verify if the components are there or not. If components are there, fine. Otherwise, you have a components available here. Okay, so this components information can be downloaded. Select. So you can go to the component option and then download the required component here. So this is how SAP, the notes. See how many issues raised by the customers. Different customers have a different issue. So there is a loan issue, there is a a program dump error, there is invalid characters. These are raised by different customers. Okay, so error category, legal change. You can select legal change notes. You can only select the legal change notes. So now these are not errors raised by the customers, but you see there are union budget changes. Government of India made certain changes, right? This year also there are certain changes. So when was it released? You can probably sort them based on the dates. Yeah, this is the latest change, and sort them based on the country. So once not normally juniors get the access to this. The seniors are given to this user ID and password. Seniors are given with the user ID and passwords. Okay. Less than 3 years, normally the companies do not share this SID and passwords. See, this is the latest change. Okay, this is the latest change in the Form 24Q. The Union government changes released in this year somewhere. You will find them. Yeah, COVID related changes to the employee provident fund. Yeah, here you can see the budget 2021 changes here. Union budget changes. So if you want to know about it, click on it, learn it. So this is very informative. If you have access to this portal, this is really informative. Okay, the latest update of any country, you will find it here, guys. You will find it here. Okay, is this clear to all of you? The release management. So this is not an interview question. This is just information. Being a SAP consultant, we should be aware of this technology. And when I ask you what is enhancement package, you should tell this is the new features that the enhancement packages brings in. Okay, version. Anyway, anybody knows what is a version, right? Okay, so these technologies you need to be aware of before you get into SAP. That's why I'm explaining all this. It doesn't mean these are the interview questions. Clear? So I'll share this document in the group today. Okay. See, so far how many version releases are here? The very first version is released in 1972, which is called R1 version, R2 version, and then R3 enterprise version, like 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 versions. Okay. The latest version here is a 6.0. After that, you see enhancement packages. Package 2, package 5, package 6, package 7, package 8 is running right now. Clear? So these are the software packages, guys. Next, architecture. So it is like every software, but there is a difference here. Let me explain this. Any software has a 3 layers in it, right? Any software has a 3 layers in it. What are the 3 layers of any software, guys? What are the 3 layers? Any software? This is a software installed in my server. It has a 3 layers in it. What are the 3 layers? Anyone? There is a database layer. There is a layer where applications are written, programs are written. Okay, the applications are written. There is a layer where the user, or we call it as a user interface, UI. Recently, we started calling these as the UIs, user interfaces. It's a screen with which user interacts with the system, or we call it as a presentation layer. So how this, let me explain you for the freshers who are new to the software. Let me explain you how this works. See, I'm working on what? It's software tool which is Paint. Isn't it a software tool? Sir, no, guys? Sir, no. Isn't it a software tool?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Unmuted.
Okay. So, where is the user perform his activities? In a presentation layer. So that means on the screen that I'm looking at is a presentation screen. But behind the screen, there are programs written. Okay, behind this screen, the programs are written. So these programs read what actually the user is clicking on. These programs read what actually the user, how the user is interacting with the system. or what instructions are given by the user. For example, if the user clicks on save, okay, then ask with what name that this record has to be saved. Say like test. Okay, then it will ask us to click on save. When I click on save, it is doing something. That means every button that I see in the presentation screen, okay, is read by the backend programs. Suppose the user clicks on this, so it understands that the user has clicked on this. This program read the user interaction. For example, if I clicked on save, this is the save button. Assume this is the save button. When I click on save, automatically the background program get activated. This program reads what is entered on the screen and pass it to the database. Okay, it reads what is entered on the screen and pass it to the database. Suppose if I want to open that file, I can go to open file, open the file that I entered earlier, and then I can open it. That means what? There is a button here, get the data. There is a button here, get the data. Okay, when this button is clicked by the user, the background respective program get executed. This program goes to the database, and get the data to the program level. Get the data to the program level, and the program data is manipulated, and from here it is displayed to the front end user screen. Okay, from here it displays it. So basically the applications work like a communicator between the end user layer and the database layer. The database layer is where actually the data is stored in the form of tables. Okay, the data is stored in the form of tables. The presentation layer does not hold any data. The presentation layer does not hold any data. What is the purpose of the presentation layer? UI. It is to read the user instruction. Okay, user instructions. The presentation layer is created. Okay, and it is to read the data. It's for the user to maintain the data. Not only user instruction, but also to maintain the data, to retrieve the data. Okay, to view and analyze the data. To review and analyze the data, to perform this analysis, the user screens are used. Doesn't hold any data. It doesn't hold any data. So the presentation is, so the every functional consultants or the users, they use this presentation screens because we don't know what is coding in the back end. So the paint that I'm using right now is a presentation screen, but there are a number of thousands of lines of code is written behind the screen. Any programming language. Yeah. Okay. So that again, the programming layer, application layer, it is not a permanent database. It is a temporary database. It is a temporary database, or we can call it as a runtime database. Application layer holds the data runtime. It holds the data runtime. It's not a permanent. In example, if you look at mobile, there is a 4 GB RAM and the 64 GB hard disk. So what is the runtime memory? Is it a 4 GB RAM or a 64 GB? What's the runtime memory? What's the runtime memory? 4 GB or 64 GB?
4 GB RAM.
4 GB RAM. That holds the data. The 4 GB RAM holds the data that we are currently, the applications that are currently accessed. See, if you are accessing more applications at a time parallelly, the mobile gets lowered. Sometimes it gets stuck because these applications are interacting with the presentation screen as well as the database screen and bringing the data into the middle layer, and it is holding the data there in the middle level layer, runtime layer. Okay, so then for the other applications, the space here, the 4 GB space may not be enough. So then mobile gets stuck. Applications get slower and slower. Once you are exit from the application, then this memory is freed. So that memory can be used for another applications. So these applications hold the memory, okay, during the runtime only. After exiting the every application, the memory is freed. That's why more RAM, more speed. Okay, clear. But the data is permanently stored where? Database layer. That's where the data is stored, like your 64 GB RAM or OEM is a permanent memory. So every software has these 3 layers. Application has to hold the data temporarily. So that is called runtime data. That's called runtime data. To store the runtime data, runtime memory is required. As it is a temporary memory, it doesn't require 100 GB RAM or 64 GB RAMs. Clear? If it is the organizations, the applications access huge data at a time, lakhs of records of the data. It might require 120 GB or 256 GB RAMs. If it is a bigger organizations, it might require 256 GB RAMs. But if it is individual usage, you don't require 4 GB, more than 4 GB generally. Clear? Okay, so that's the runtime memory. So these are the application layers. The application layers. Sorry, this is the any 3 layers of any software. Any 3 layers of any software, guys. Is this clear? Tomorrow I'll explain you the same 3 layers in ERP. Have you understood this, all of you? So we will not have access to the application layer. We will not have access to the database layer. If you want to get anything that you need to use from the presentation screen, you need to request from the presentation screen so that the applications can go to the database and bring the data. It's not just passing the data. It's not just passing the data, but also it performs the calculations, conversions, data conversions, okay, calculations and conversions and data manipulations. All the things can be performed using a programs. Okay, it's not just passing the data from the presentation to the database. In the middle, it can also perform calculations, conversions, manipulations. So if anyone is working on any software and if anyone wants to learn any programming language or any software tool, one must have an idea on these 3 layers. If they have idea on these 3 layers, then they can learn any software tool easily. Okay, they can design, they can learn any programming language easily. How these 3 layers work. Okay, any questions from anyone from today's session?
Sir, will you share the application implementation guy phone number for data software loading?
Oh, installation guide number. The person who install SAP. Is that the one you are asking?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'll share it. I'll share it in the group. Probably you need a system study by Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Until then, this is going to be theory sessions. So tomorrow also, I mean, tomorrow we have festival, right? Day after tomorrow, you can use the same meeting ID. You can use the same meeting ID, but on Saturday I will share another meeting ID in the group. I created batch 49. So I have 5 members confirmed or 6 members confirmed. Yeah, there are 6 members confirmed. So I'll share that meeting ID in the group.
Okay. Tomorrow do we have class or tomorrow is holiday?
We have a festival, right? So let's not take the session on tomorrow. We'll have a session on Friday and Saturday.
Right. Okay, you can share the installation guy number in the group.
Yeah, I'll share. Any other question from anyone?
Sir, will you share that theory material, sir?
Yeah, I will share that in the group. Yes.
So that we can take printout and we can read something.
Yeah, you don't need a printout. You can read it online. Okay, anyway, soft copy, right? So you can. I'll share that in the group.
Okay, sir.
Anyone? All right. Closing the session for today, guys. See you tomorrow. See you day after tomorrow.